The illusion of solidity. Does the moon exist when you turn your back on it? It sounds like a ridiculous question. Of course, it does. You can feel the gravity. You know the tides are rising. But if you ask a quantum physicist, the answer is not yes. The answer is it depends. This is not a video about astronomy. This is a video about the life you are living right now. Because the science of the very small quantum physics tells us something terrifying and liberating about our reality. Nothing is fixed until it is observed. Look at your life. Look at your bank account, your relationships, your health. They seem solid. They seem unchangeable. You think they are happening to you. But what if I told you that you are not merely an actor in this movie? What if I told you that you are the projector? Most people live and die without ever understanding the true mechanics of reality. They live in the world of cause and effect. They wait for something outside to change, so they can feel better inside. They are victims of their environment. Today, we are going to destroy that model. We are going to explore the quantum mindset. We will move from the Newtonian world, where things happen to you, to the quantum world, where you happen to things. This is not just motivation. This is the physics of potential. Wake up. It's time to collapse the wave function. Chapter 1, The Memory of the Future. Let's be brutally honest about how you started your day. You woke up. You turned off the alarm. You checked your phone, WhatsApp, Instagram, email. You drank the same coffee from the same mug. You drove the same route to the same job, saw the same people, and felt the same frustration. You think you are making choices. You are not. You are running a program. Neuroscience tells us that by the time you are 35 years old, 95% of who you are is a set of memorized behaviors, emotional reactions, and unconscious habits. You are a computer operating on autopilot. You are living in the past. Here is the problem with that. If you think the same thoughts you thought yesterday, you will make the same choices you made yesterday. Those choices will lead to the same behaviors. Those behaviors will create the same experiences. And those experiences will produce the same emotions. And those emotions, they drive your very biology. They signal your genes. So, if you are trying to create a new future, a new career, a healed body, a massive fortune, but you are feeling the same old emotions of lack, fear, and unworthiness, you are biologically and energetically impossible. You are trying to create a new life while keeping your energy stuck in the past. This is the Newtonian trap. In the Newtonian model of physics, everything is linear. A leads to B. You work hard cause, and eventually, you get paid effect. You find love cause, and then you feel happy effect. You are always waiting. You are living in a state of lack. You are saying to the universe, I don't have this yet, so I cannot feel it yet. The quantum mindset requires you to invert this process completely. The quantum model says, you must feel the effect before the cause creates it. You must feel the gratitude of wealth before the money arrives. You must feel the wholeness of health before the healing occurs. Why? Because in the quantum field, time does not exist linearly. Past, present, and future are all happening in the eternal now. When you wait for the external world to change your internal state, you are disconnected from your power. But when you change your internal state independent of your environment, you become the creator of your world. You have to stop remembering your future based on your past failures. You have to start remembering a future that hasn't happened yet. Chapter 2. The Observer Effect. You are the God particle. To understand how to change your mind, you must understand the most famous experiment in the history of physics, the double-slit experiment. Imagine you are firing tiny particles of matter, let's say, marbles, through a barrier with two slits in it. On the wall behind the barrier, you would expect to see two bands of marks where the marbles hit. Simple, right? Matter travels in straight lines. But when scientists fired electrons, the tiny building blocks of your reality, something bizarre happened. They didn't create two bands. They created an interference pattern, many bands. This means the electron didn't behave like a solid particle. It behaved like a wave of energy. It went through both slits at the same time. It was in multiple places at once. It was pure potential. But here is the twist that changed science forever. When the scientists decided to observe the electron, to put a camera there and watch which slit it went through, the electron stopped behaving like a wave. It snapped back into being a particle. It went through only one slit. The moment it was observed, it changed from potential energy into solid matter. This is called the observer effect. What does this have to do with your mindset? Everything. Your life is the electron. Before you wake up in the morning, your day exists in a state of infinite potential. It is a wave. It could be a great day, a terrible day, a day of opportunity, or a day of failure. All those possibilities exist simultaneously in the quantum field. But the moment you wake up and remember your problems, the moment you focus on your stress, the moment you tell yourself I am tired, or I am broke, you are the observer. You are looking at the infinite possibilities, and you are collapsing them into a single, limited reality. You are collapsing the wave function into the same particle of struggle that you lived yesterday. Most people are unconscious creators. They use this divine power to recreate the life they hate. They wake up and scan their brain for the problems, just to make sure they are still there. And by observing them, they anchor them into reality. Let's pause for a moment and truly visualize what this means. I want you to imagine you are holding a marble in your hand. It feels solid, it feels hard. Now, imagine we magnify that marble. We zoom in past the glass structure, past the molecules, until we get to the atom. What do you see? Most of us were taught in school that an atom is like a solar system, a nucleus in the middle, with electrons orbiting around it like planets. But that model is wrong. If the nucleus of an atom were the size of a basketball, sitting in the center of New York City, the electrons would be like grains of sand floating where? At the very edge of the city. So, what is in between the basketball and the grains of sand? Nothing. Empty space. 99% of an atom is empty space. But it's not empty. It is teeming with frequency. It is energy. This means that the hand you are using to hold your phone right now, the chair you are sitting on, the body you are so worried about, is almost entirely non-physical energy. You are a hologram of light disguised as solid matter. Why does this matter to your success? Because if you are trying to change your life by moving matter, working harder, forcing outcomes, struggling, you are acting like a fool trying to move a shadow by scrubbing the wall. You are working with the 0.1%. But when you learn to work with the energy, the 99.999%, you are working with the source. Let me tell you a story that defies medical logic. This is documented in medical journals as the placebo effect, but we know it as the quantum effect. In 1996, a group of patients with debilitating knee osteoarthritis were scheduled for surgery. They were in chronic pain, they couldn't walk. The doctors divided them into two groups. Group A received the actual surgery. They were cut open, the joint was scraped and cleaned. Group B received a sham surgery. They were sedated. The doctor made an incision on their knee so they would have a scar. But he did nothing to the knee. He just sewed them back up. Here is the terrifying part. 2 years later, both groups were interviewed. Group A reported that their pain was gone and they were walking perfectly. But Group B, the people who had nothing done to them, also reported their pain was gone. They were walking, running, and playing basketball. How is this possible? The Newtonian model cannot explain this. But the quantum model can. The patients in Group B believed they were healed. They observed a new reality. They emotionally embraced a future where they were healthy. And their biology reorganized itself to match that belief. They didn't need the surgery. They needed the shift in consciousness. If a fake surgery can heal a bone, what can a genuine shift in your mindset do to your bank account? Chapter 3. Collapsing the wave function, the choice. So, how do you apply this when your bank account is empty? How do you apply this when you are in physical pain? It requires a skill that very few people master, the ability to collapse the wave function through a definitive decision. Most people make decisions that are actually just wishes. They say, I want to be wealthy, but their body feels the anxiety of poverty. They say, I want to find love, but their heart is beating with the rhythm of loneliness. In the quantum field, you don't broadcast what you want. You broadcast what you are. If you are broadcasting wanting, you are broadcasting lack. And the universe, being a giant mirror, will reflect more lack back to you. This is why positive thinking often fails. You can't fool the field with words. You have to fool it with energy. To collapse the wave function, you must make a choice with such a high amplitude of energy that it becomes more real to you than your external environment. Think about the moments in history when the impossible happened. Think about the person who was told they had 3 weeks to live, who stood up and said no. Not today. In that moment, something clicked. A gear shifted deep in their biology. They didn't just hope to survive. They knew. When you truly make a decision, a real decision, you stop looking for evidence in the outside world. Why would you look for it? You already know it's true. You have become it. The event hasn't happened in time yet, but energetically, it is already done. This is the secret that isn't a secret, it is physics. When your internal state is greater than your external reality, you become the master of your destiny. But we need to talk about why this is so hard. Why, even after hearing this, will you likely wake up tomorrow and feel the same anxiety? Because you are addicted. I don't mean addicted to drugs. I mean addicted to your own chemistry. Every time you feel anger, your brain produces specific neuropeptides. Every time you feel like a victim, your brain produces a different chemical signature. Over time, your cells develop receptor sites for these chemicals. Your body literally craves the feeling of being stuck. When you decide to change, when you say, "I am going to be positive today," your body acts like a drug addict going through withdrawal. It screams at you. It sends panic signals to your brain. It says, "Why are you not worrying? We always worry at 80 a.m. Give me my fix of cortisol." This is why you start to hear those voices in your head. This is stupid. This won't work. That is not the truth speaking. That is your body fighting to stay in the known. To break this addiction, we must learn the art of sensory awakening. You must learn to taste the future before you eat the fruit. I want you to think about a lemon. Close your eyes for a second. Imagine holding a bright yellow, waxy lemon. Now imagine slicing it open. Juice sprays out. You pick up a slice. You put it in your mouth and bite down. Did your mouth just water? Did your salivary glands activate? There is no lemon. It exists only in your mind. Yet, your body reacted physically. It produced a physical enzyme for a non-physical thought. Now, apply this to your wealth. Apply this to your freedom. Can you close your eyes and feel the steering wheel of that car so vividly that your hands sweat? Can you hear the sound of the ocean outside your dream home so clearly that your heart rate slows down? Can you smell the expensive leather of the chair in your new office? Masters visualize in 4K resolution. They engage touch, smell, sound, and taste. When your sensory experience of the internal thought becomes more real than the chair you are sitting on, that is the moment the magic happens. Chapter 4. Quantum Entanglement, the Trap of Connection. Now that you are mastering your own energy, you must look at your environment. Have you ever noticed that you keep dating the same person in a different body? Have you ever noticed that you leave a toxic job, only to find the same toxic boss at the new company with a different name? You think it's bad luck. It's not. It is quantum entanglement. In physics, entanglement says that if two particles interact, they become linked. Even if you separate them by 1,000,000 miles, if you affect one, the other responds instantly. They are bound by an invisible energetic cord. You are entangled with your past. You are entangled with the people who hurt you. You are entangled with your old identity. Every time you tell the story of your trauma, every time you complain about your ex-partner, every time you gossip about your boss, you are feeding energy into that cord. You are reinforcing the entanglement. You are keeping that person and that situation alive in your field. You cannot create a new future while you are entangled with the emotions of the past. It is biologically impossible. You are running on low battery. You are dimming your own light. To break the entanglement, you must do something radical. You must withdraw your attention from the memories that hurt you. The moment you can look back at your past, without the emotional charge, when you can look at your trauma, and feel nothing but wisdom, that is the moment the entanglement is broken. That is the moment you are free. This is why forgiveness is not a moral act. It is a selfish act of energy conservation. You don't forgive them for their sake. You forgive them to take your energy back. When you cut those cords, you become a singular, coherent frequency. And when you are coherent, you become magnetic. Chapter 5. The time elegy, the death of dreams, but this leads to the final and most dangerous question: if you can change your reality, why does it take time? Here is the brutal truth that destroys 99% of people. In the quantum realm, the realm of thought and energy, manifestation is instant. But we live in the third dimension. We live in the dimension of matter, of density, of gravity. Matter is slow. Matter is heavy. So, there is always a time lag. There is a gap between the moment you change your mind and the moment your reality catches up. And this gap is where dreams go to die. Most people start a new routine. They meditate for 3 days. They visualize their success. They feel great. And then they open their eyes. They look at their bank account, and it is still zero. And because they are addicted to their senses, they say it's not working. The moment you say it's not working, you have just analyzed your reality with your old mind. You have just stopped the flow. You have observed the lack again, and you have collapsed the wave function back into its old state. You dug up the seed just to see if it was growing, and by doing so, you killed it. The quantum mindset is the discipline to hold the vision even when your environment denies it. If you can hold your frequency during the time lag, matter must yield. It is a law. Chapter 6. The protocol and the guided session. So, how do we live this? How do we stop being a victim of reality and start being the architect of it? Here is your protocol. First, conquer the morning. The first hour of your day is the battleground. Do not touch your phone. Do not let the world program you. Instead, sit in the silence. Rehearse who you are going to be today. Second, the art of gratitude. Gratitude is the ultimate state of receivership. When you give thanks before the event happens, your body thinks the event has already occurred. Walk through your day thanking the universe for the abundance that is coming. Third, the quantum rehearsal. We have talked enough. Now, we do the work. I want you to use the next few minutes to initiate this shift. If you can, disconnect from the world for a moment. Pause, slow pace, take a deep breath. And as you exhale, I want you to release the identity you have been carrying all day. Release your name. Release your age. Release your job title. Release your pain. Become nobody. Become nothing. Become pure consciousness floating in the black void of potential. Now I want you to locate the version of you that already exists in the quantum field. The version of you that is already successful. Already healed. Already free. See that version of yourself standing in front of you. Look at how they stand. Look at their eyes. There is no fear there. Only certainty. Now step into that body. Overlay your consciousness with theirs. Feel what it feels like to be them. What is the primary emotion of this new self? Is it freedom? Is it power? Find that emotion in your chest, and I want you to turn up the volume on it. Breathe it in. Let that feeling wash over every cell in your body. Signal a new gene. You are not hoping to become this person. You are this person. Memorize this feeling. This is your new baseline. This is the signal you are broadcasting to the universe. Do not get up from this state until you feel differently than when you sat down. Because if you get up feeling the same, nothing has changed. But if you get up feeling empowered, you have just walked through the door of the quantum field. Hold this frequency. Carry it with you. Open your eyes. We are living in a time where science and spirituality are finally speaking the same language. You are not a biological robot destined to live out your genetic coding. You are a divine creator, equipped with the machinery to bend reality. But knowledge is not power. Knowledge is only potential power. Application is power. The choice is yours. You can turn off this video and go back to the sleep of the Newtonian world. You can go back to reacting, complaining, and waiting. Or, you can wake up. You can take the helm of your own consciousness. If you have felt a shift while listening to this, if you feel that you are ready to leave the old world behind and explore the deeper mechanics of this universe, then you are in the right place. This is Quantum Files Official. We are not just a channel, we are an archive for the awakened. We are building a library of the laws that govern this reality. If you are ready to continue this study, if you are ready to master the self, then consider this your invitation. Join the files. Subscribe to the frequency. Don't just watch the future happen. Create it. See you in the field.